All right. Karoline Leavitt is briefing today. And I was struck during the Biden administration at how relatively open some Democrats were willing to criticize Joe Biden's press secretary. And I'm surprised in this administration, I hear from a lot of Democrats who say she's doing a good job. And so my question for you, Dan, first, and Sean, is again, briefly, if you can, what is it about? I don't want to hear about her background. What is it about her performance at the podium that people are saying is strong? What are the elements of her performance that people say is strong?
Just cool, calm, and sharp. I mean, she presents well. She speaks well. She's on message. She can deliver a zinger in a crisp way. She doesn't kind of, bloviate and go on and on. She's just cool, calm, and crisp. I'm super impressed. She's very good at her job.
Yeah. Sean, except for the fact that she's Spicer-esque, what would you say are the elements?
I think the number one thing, I mean, I agree with Dan's assessment, but I would say the one thing that she has more than anything is a strong relationship with the president. You can tell when she walks out there, she'll note it sometimes, and I know it for a fact, that she is talking to him, getting the latest. She knows her red lines. She does a really good job of staying between the guardrails. This is what the president said. This is what he believes, or I'll get back to you. She colors within the lines really well, and she has a strong relationship with the president, and she knows what to say and what not to.
I'll add one thing also to you guys, I think, said it so well. She's up on the news. I've dealt with press secretaries who really aren't up on the news because they're going to meetings, whatever, and they just don't keep themselves informed. Karoline is just a voracious consumer of information and the latest. Here is, I'll give you an example of what I mean. Here's
one other thing. Yeah.
Well, here's Heather Cox Richardson, 112, from her newsletter. And she's writing about the president's event yesterday. Okay. People mistake Donald Trump for being only appealing to the MAGA base. I think it's literally probably the biggest mistake Trump's critics and opponents have made, which is he's doing a lot of stuff that appeals way more than the MAGA base. So here's Heather Cox Richardson. Trump's performance at the press conference, this is yesterday, an event for which his handlers would have made sure he was at the top of his game, made it clear that his mental deterioration is moving rapidly, which is something you hear from the left constantly these days. He let Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, Pam Bondi, Kash Patel explain the actual plan, taking the microphone himself to describe a fake world in which he plays the role of hero, solving 5 wars, creating a booming economy, solving the border security others couldn't, protecting Americans from a hellscape that exists only in his rhetoric. All I'll say is Karoline Leavitt reads stuff like that and sees a buffet, a smorgasbord of possibilities to put the left on defense. And she just got an incredible instinct for doing that, which is again, different than going to the podium, as some press secretaries have done, trying not to make mistakes, trying to just get through the briefing without creating any news or creating any problems. She is on offense, and the left is giving her every day material to work with.
Yeah, well, the funny part about it is Heather Cox Richardson is proof that pot is legal in D.C. because the idea that that's not that I thought yesterday was brilliantly orchestrated. It showed this whole of government approach to deterring crime, addressing the homelessness issue. I thought it was brilliant. They talked about the prosecution. So the idea that that's somehow equivocating to mental, it's the opposite. It was brilliantly orchestrated.
Yeah, I mean, that I agree with you, although, people can have different views on that. But Heather Cox Richardson says the delusion that Trump has controlled the border as if everyone else could. I mean, Heather Cox Richardson, president, had 4 years to do it and didn't. In any event.
Can I just add, Mark, one thing I was going to say about Karoline Leavitt? My sense is she has fun doing the job. And a lot of press secretaries, Sean, you can speak to this way better than I can, after a couple months are ground down. It becomes joyless. I get the sense she loves going to work every day.
Want more great clips like that? I've got an idea. Hit the subscribe button, be part of the Two-Way community, never miss a clip. And you can always watch our full episodes, join them live, go to twoway.tv.